Life is not always easy. Some days feel heavy. Some nights feel too long. And sometimes it feels like the whole world is against you. Maybe you are fighting a silent battle. Maybe you smile outside, but break inside. Maybe you pray for one good day, but the storm keeps coming. In these moments, it is easy to lose hope. It is easy to think you are alone. It is easy to believe nothing will ever change. But listen closely, because this story is your reminder. A reminder that even in the darkest times, a small light can still rise. A reminder that belief can lift you, even when your strength feels broken. Tonight, you will hear the story of a person who almost gave up. A person who lost everything, except one thing, a tiny spark of belief. And that spark changed everything. As you listen, you will see yourself in their journey. You will feel their fear, their pain, their turning point. And maybe, just maybe, you will find your own strength again. This is the beginning. Stay with me, because what comes next might change your life. There was once a young man named Evan. He lived in a small town, worked hard, and tried his best every day, but life was not kind to him. He had lost his job, he had lost his savings, and slowly, he began losing himself. Every morning felt the same. Wake up with heavy eyes, take a deep breath, pretend everything is okay. Walk through the day like a shadow. His friends didn't know how much he was hurting. His family thought he was strong, but inside, Evan was falling apart. At night, he would sit alone in his tiny room, staring at the ceiling. Sometimes he whispered, "Why me? When will things get better?" But the silence never answered. One cold evening, after another day of bad news, Evan walked outside. The sky was dark and the wind was sharp. He felt empty, lost, exhausted. He walked without thinking, without direction, just walking away from the noise inside his own mind. And suddenly, he stopped, because he saw someone sitting alone on a small bench near a closed shop. It was an old man. He looked fragile, wearing worn-out clothes, holding a small paper bag. But there was something unusual about him. A calmness in his eyes, like he carried peace instead of pain. Evan didn't plan to speak. He just wanted to pass by. But the old man looked up and smiled gently, and that smile stopped Evan in his tracks. "Rough day?" the old man asked softly. Evan wanted to say no, but the truth was too heavy to hide. "Yes," he whispered, "everything is falling apart." The old man nodded slowly, as if he had heard these words 1,000 times. He patted the empty space beside him. "Sit. Rest for a moment." Evan didn't know why, but he sat. Maybe he was too tired to walk away. Maybe he needed a stranger more than he needed silence. For a minute, they just sat quietly. No words, just the cold wind and the soft streetlight above them. Finally, the old man opened the small paper bag. Inside it was a single candle, a simple, tiny candle. Evan looked confused. The old man smiled. "Let me tell you something," he said. "One candle, even the smallest one, can push away darkness. Not because it is strong, but because it never stops believing in its own light." Evan swallowed hard. He didn't understand. Not yet. The old man continued. "I once lost everything too," he said. "My house, my job, my family, everything. I thought my life was over. But one night, I lit a candle. And that candle reminded me that darkness can surround you, but it cannot own you." Evan stared at the small candle. It was so simple, so ordinary, but for some reason, it felt powerful, almost magical. "I kept that candle," the old man said, "as a promise to myself. A promise that no matter how hard life becomes, I will not let my light go out." He gently placed the candle in Evan's hands. "This is yours now." Evan held the candle carefully. It felt warm, even though it wasn't lit. "But I don't feel like I have any light left," Evan whispered. The old man shook his head. "Everyone has a light, even you. You just forgot where to look." Evan looked down, feeling something he had not felt in months. Hope. Just a tiny spark, small, but alive. The old man stood up slowly. "You don't need to fix your whole life tonight," he said. "You just need one small reason to believe again. One small step, one small spark." He smiled and walked away into the night. Evan watched him disappear. When he looked back down at the candle in his hands, he felt a strange warmth in his chest. That night, he went home and placed the candle on his table. He didn't light it, but he looked at it for a long time. And for the first time in many months, he didn't cry himself to sleep. The next morning, Evan woke up with the same problems, same struggles, same challenges. Nothing outside had changed, but something inside had. He placed the candle in his pocket before leaving the house. He didn't know why, but carrying it made him feel less alone. When he searched for jobs, he didn't feel the same hopelessness. When he faced rejection, he didn't collapse inside. When he walked through the streets, he didn't feel invisible, because every time he felt lost, he touched the candle and remembered the old man's words, one small spark. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly, very slowly, Evan began rebuilding his life. He applied for jobs again. He practiced interviews. He fixed his resume. He learned new skills online. He didn't do everything at once. He took small steps, tiny steps, spark by spark. One evening, after a long day, he came home tired. He placed the candle on his table again, but this time, he lit it. The flame danced softly, almost smiling. The room was still dark, but something about that flame made the darkness feel gentle. He whispered, "I'm trying. I'm really trying." And for the first time, he believed those words. A few days later, Evan received a call, a job interview. It wasn't a big job. It wasn't a dream job, but it was a start. The night before the interview, he sat again in front of the candle. He watched the flame, and he remembered the old man. He remembered the bench, the quiet smile, the calm eyes, the simple words. One candle can push away darkness. The next morning, he dressed neatly, took a deep breath, and slipped the unlit candle into his pocket. During the interview, something changed. Evan spoke with confidence, with hope, with belief. He didn't feel broken anymore. He felt ready. 2 days later, he got the job. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't magic. It was belief. The smallest spark becoming a flame. Months passed. Evan rebuilt his life piece by piece. Some days were hard. Some nights were still heavy. But he never lost his light again. He kept the candle in his home, not to use it, not to light the room, but to remind himself, darkness is real, but so is your light. And the old man? Evan never saw him again. But he didn't need to, because the lesson stayed forever. Sometimes life becomes dark. Sometimes everything falls apart. Sometimes you feel weak, tired, lost. But remember this, you don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need a big miracle. You just need one small spark inside you. One tiny reason to keep going. One moment of belief. Because even the smallest light can push away the deepest darkness. Believe in yourself. Believe in your journey. Believe that brighter days are coming, because they are. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope tonight. And tell me in the comments, what is one small spark of belief you are holding on to right now? I would love to read your answer. Stay strong. Your light is still alive.